In this video, I'm going to show you how I changed out the anode rod in the hot water tank, as well as had to change the line going out of the tank. So this is the hot water line here. That's the anode is connected right into that. All right, stay tuned. For this job, I used the following tools. I had a length of hose, may be different in your place, depends on the length from the drain spigot right there to the drain in your floor. Pipe cutter, pipe reamer tool, channel locks, and you might not need it, but I had to go get a monkey wrench here to because the old anode rod was seized in there pretty good. Okay, I'm at the local hardware shop getting some stuff. Noticed during the pandemic, prices have gone up in a lot of things. Don't need to get a big fancy one. Take a look here. Good up to 1 1/8 inch. Quick release. Sounds good. 15 bucks. Sweet. First item. Let's see, got 18-inch hot water heater connector with the shutoff. Okay, so getting ready to finally do the change the anode rod in the hot water tank. Just so you know, this should be done every 4 years. Judging by the way the old one's installed, this one has never been done. Parts that you'll need: the anode rod. This took a lot of Googling to find. Part number, I stuck it on the wall over here. From Emery Supply 224-47776-05. So call up Emery Supply, get one of them. I think it was about 60 bucks. And new hot water line, shark bite on one side. Sorry, shark bite on this side with the shut off. And this side over here is the side that attaches to the hot water tank. All right, so over here, you got your dial. I'm gonna turn this all the way down. That's just for when we're restarting. That's where it's supposed to be anyways. Okay, on the top here is the control. And we're gonna switch this over to off. Okay. Down here, you got your little pilot light. Oh, it's really dark in here. Pilot light door. Okay, I don't know if we'll be able to see it with this camera. But right down in here, right there, you have an inspection port where you can see your flame going in your pilot light. Take a look through there. You shouldn't see any blue flames. That means your gas is turned off and you're not heating up the water. Next, what we're going to do is we are going to have to shut off the water going into the tank. Okay. All right, water's turned off. And the gas is turned off. There's no fire in there. Next thing we got to do is we have to drain the tank. But there is going to be a lot of water coming out because it's got to come down the whole hot side of the manifold through the house. All right, so that's what the hose is for, and this little guy. I'm going to open up the cap on the floor. All right, just ease it up. You don't want to be breaking it. It's plastic. There we go. Get the spider webs out. All right, now we're going to hook up the hose. All right, so that's good and tight. This piece of hose is way too long. I'm just going to cut a piece off. Okay, so take a piece of hose and make sure it reaches down in there pretty good. We are going to open the port over here, and for that you will need a flat edge. And keep an eye on the hole here and make sure the water, you're not filling it up too fast. You don't want to flood your basement. So we're going to open up the port a little bit. Make sure that's turning the right way. Much easier with a stubby screwdriver. you're going to have some hot water going into your drain. This is probably going to take a bit, so I'm going to stop recording for now. Another thing I recommend doing, open up the hot water, bring some pressure out, and let that run for a while. Okay, so I got this tap opened up more. The drain is taking it pretty good, it's not overflowing. So the water's coming out pretty good. Plus I've got the kitchen sink opened up upstairs. Let's see how long this takes. Okay, so now I'm feeling the water and it's getting kind of cold, which means that the hot water is drained out of the tank and that the cold water fill line, the shut off, is broken. There must still be water pouring through that. Interesting. So this here is definitely something wrong with it. It's not working. So next best thing, I guess, I'm going to shut off the water going into the house. And it's just going to take longer to drain. So water to the house is shut off. I ran upstairs and I opened the highest drain so we get air go flowing back. You can see it's draining. And yeah, it's cold water that's draining out. So the whole house will be out of water until this job is done. Good thing is that valve isn't leaking. So it doesn't have to be changed right away, but I will do that soon. Okay, so feeling this pipe, it's cool to the touch. Does not feel warm whatsoever. Same with all the PEX lines on the manifold. So I do believe that they are all empty. Now what we got here, okay, this is the new one. It's going to attach down there. What I want to do is have it attach up here somewhere so that this line does not touch the exhaust line for the hot water tank. It is a steel braided line, but, you know, better safe than sorry. I've marked it. I've got my pipe cutter on here. It's not cutting yet. I've got my shark bite down here ready. I've turned the valve off. And I've got a towel handy, just in case. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this. Might get a little bit of water dribbling out. Shouldn't be too bad. Then I'll put this on. And then the water's shut off and I can work on the anode at my leisure. So this here, it's got a little dial on it. You turn that as you cut. And you just keep tightening it. Oops, tightening it, not loosening. As you go. And it'll cut through. I can keep turning it the right way. There we go. And we're through. Sweet, no water came out. I can't activate the quick release with one hand. There we go. Okay, we are broke. I'm going to have to loosen this so I can turn the pipe and get the shark bite on. Okay, as you can see, the inside of the old anode compared to a new one. Hard part is trying to get that out of the hot water tank because it seems to be seized in there pretty good. Just going to work on it very carefully for now because I don't have to replace the whole tank. All right, so with our end of the pipe here, be very careful. It's pretty sharp and it'll take a good gouge out. And the water's turned off, so it's not like you can clean it. What I like to do before putting this all together, clean it up. This is usually if you're going to be soldering it and stuff. Figure, why not? It's still sharp. I'd like to have a good connection, good clean connection. I'm going to take our PEX end here. I'm going to put it beside. As you can see, it's not too tight. Okay. I'm going to use both hands to make sure this is good and firm. All right, it's on there pretty good. It's really solid. The valve is turned off. Okay. Now I've hooked it up to the old anode because I have to go back to Home Depot to get a bigger pipe wrench. That is seized in there good. I'm really got to get this changed because it is really black inside there. Wow. All right. As you can see, it's churning. Oh, it took a little bit of persuasion. So I kind of stuck my foot in here to hold on to the gas line to keep the tank from turning. Really don't want that gas line moving or breaking or anything. Yeah, seemed to work pretty good. So I'm going to take this out now. All right, moment of truth here. See how bad this old anode rod is. Is it going to come out? Wow, a lot of threads in here. Okay, feels, oh wow, feels pretty light. Ugh. Oh my God, there's not even a wire on it. The whole thing is just gone. Okay, everybody, change your anode rods. It's supposed to look like this. Okay, this keeps the inside of your tank from corroding. Wow, that's so bad. Hope the tank's okay. All right, well. Yeah, there's some corrosion in there. Probably gonna get a bunch coming out when I first turn on the water. All right, it comes with, what do you call it, the sealing compound already on the threads. I'm gonna thread that down in place. I'm gonna use this because this edge here is kind of sharp. I don't want to cut myself any more today. Get that's down in there nice and tight. Next, on these threads up here, we're gonna have to put some of this. See if I can prop this up on something. You want to go with the threads that you're going to be threading the line on. There we go. Make sure you don't cross thread it. New line is in. It's got its own shutoff. Sealed. It's pretty tight. Anode rod is in. There's the old one. Yikes. Okay, now, moment of truth. We're ready to start turning on some water. All right, so coming back down here, we've got our drain line. First thing we have to do is close this. But we're going to leave it attached just in case there's any problems and we have to do a quick drain. Next, turn on the water. Okay, I've got that valve closed and that valve closed. Just going to slowly open this. Tank is filling. Well, that line is cold. You can feel the cold water coming in. All right, I have to go upstairs and turn those taps off now. Tank is filling. So far, no leaks. I'm gonna try opening this now. All right, I just heard water rush up into the hot side manifold. It's not hot yet though, because I haven't turned on the flames yet. Just checking very carefully for leaks. I don't hear water moving anymore, which means the tank is full. Nothing's coming out of the top, which means that's nice and tight. It's sealed. Valves are both open. I'm going to turn on the gas, or turn on the, get the flame started again. Okay, so this is turned down to vacation as low as it can go. Next, what we're going to do, this is off. I'm going to depress this, or we're going to turn this to pilot. Okay. And we're going to press the igniter. You have to hold this down for 1 minute, press the igniter. You see the flame, keep holding it down. I see flame. And keep holding it down for a bit. Okay, released, looks good. Now we switch over to on. I can still hear the flame in there. There she goes. And we're going to turn that on up there to hot. So it's heating up that water in there. Okay, so I put the inspection port back on. I can hear the flames in there. So they're heating up the water. Took the hose off, leaving that off to the side. Gonna have to do this again in 4 years. Put the cap back on the floor drain. Let's just check everything over. Gas line looks good. Still no leaks up here. The anode rod, the new line, this is good. All right, everything looks good. Now what we're gonna do is go open up taps and make sure water's running through the house good. It's gonna be a bit before it's hot water because this is a lot of water to heat up. Okay, up here in the kitchen. A little bit of spitting. Oh yeah, that's gross. There it goes. All right. And it's going to be pretty nasty for the first bit, so let it run. Okay, so because it's been so long, there's a lot of corrosion and sediment in the bottom of the tank. So as soon as I filled it back up and it warmed up and I started opening taps, there was a lot of rust coming out. So now what I've done is I've shut the gas off. Or not shut the gas off, but I've turned off the gas to the tank, not the valve. And filled it up with water, drained it. It's draining now. And then as soon as it stops draining, I go over and I turn on the cold water so it flushes into the tank and it sprays down the sides. Gets all that sediment down there and it drains it out, and then I just keep flushing it. Keep doing it until I pull this hose out. Until this water's clean. And you can see it still has a little tinge to it. It still has a little bit of rust. I'll just keep going. The job's all done. Earlier I was talking about flushing the tank, and that took 4 times. So I'd open up the water to the house, hold it open for about 10 seconds, and then close it and let it drain out. And after the 4th time, the water was coming out of all the faucets pretty clear. So yeah, it looks good. Good luck with yours, and message me if you guys have any questions.